L.I.B Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
Madam Catherine Gibson joining us this evening on our platform, as well as Lavetta Davis, who is going to read for us our news, and after which we go to having conversation pertinent to those issues that we think are very essential to be discussed. So we have major talking points this evening. As I said, we will discuss them lengthily from now up onto 9 o'clock tonight. So stay with us as we join Lavera Davis to read for us the news before we have Catherine coming in so that we can have this conversation this evening. Thank you so very much.
Good evening to our listeners and welcome to L.I.B Future Today's trending news update. NC political leader says he is running to be president. Alternative National Congress political leader Arizona Cummings has confirmed that he is running for the presidency. According to him, those in government feared the opposition unity, stating that he often hears some people say that Cummings only wants to be president. In his speech, Cummings said he has said and will continue to say that nobody contests to be vice president, arguing that the kind of change he seeks is bigger than any one person. The NC political leader stated that the opposition must put their personal ambition, superiority complex of individuals or parties aside and recognize that the strength lies in unity and not in individuals. PUL urges swift establishment of national anti-corruption code. The Press Union of Liberia, PUL, today joined national stakeholders in demanding the establishment and operationalization of Liberia's specialized national anti-corruption code. Speaking as a panelist at the National Anti-Corruption Policy Dialogue, Press Union of Liberia President Julia Kanuba underscored that the creation of the code is a consequential necessity for safeguarding Liberia's democratic governance and future development. Kanuba stressed that the Press Union of Liberia calls on President Joseph Yuma Bwaka, House Speaker Rachel Nagwekun, Senate Pro Tembre Yombli Kanga Lawrence, the Chief Justice and Justices of the Supreme Court, and all branches of government to make the establishment of the National Anti-Corruption Code their collective legacy. Kanuba warned that any attempt to stir the code's creation will be a betrayal of future generations, noting that corruption has long reversed development, entrenched poverty, eroded human security, and weakened the rule of law. He recalled Liberia's painful history where corruption fueled and even led to brutal executions under military dictatorship. Commendable steps taken, such as suspensions, dismissal, and prosecution of officials. The Press Union of Liberia president emphasized that the pace of action remains too slow. He cautioned that if the code is not established and operational by December 2026, political calculations ahead of the 2029 election risks derailing this national imperative. In May 2026, President Joseph Bwaka submitted to the legislature a bill to establish the specialized National Anti-Corruption consultation led establishment of war and economic crimes court. Konumba highlighted that guarantee effective prosecution of corruption cases, foster public trust in governance and institutions, and safeguard public funds to strengthen the foundation for sustainable development. Echoing former President Helen Johnson Sirleaf's metaphor that corruption is a vampire, Konumba declared that a specialized national anti-corruption court must become Liberia's anti-corruption vampire, noting that it will be the instrument that drills corruption of its lifeblood, ensuring that impunity no longer stalks our institutions and that justice prevails over exploitation. The National Anti-Corruption Policy Dialogue was convened by the Center of Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, CETA for short, in partnership with the Liberia Anti-Corruption LACC and the Office for the Establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court, with support from the Embassy of Ireland. Wonkoso condemns alleged maltreatment of women and child during Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency operation. The woman Liberia Wonkoso has strongly condemned the alleged maltreatment of a woman and a young girl during an operation reportedly carried out by officers of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency LDEA. In a statement, Wonkoso said it was shocked by viral video that appears to show a woman completely naked while officers recorded her instead of allowing her to cover herself. The video also shows a young girl present during the incident. The organization said no woman or child should be treated in a way that takes away their dignity law enforcement operation, noting that while it supports efforts to fight illegal drugs, officers must always respect people's rights and treat them with dignity. The group is calling on the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency and the Ministry of Justice to investigate the incident and take action against any officers found responsible. The group also urged law enforcement agencies to provide more training on human rights, child protection, and professional conduct. Following her appearance on OKFM Tuesday, former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor said the Unity Party used propaganda on the CDC to come to power. The president said the Unity of drugs taking over for the youth, businesses that brought them to power. She noted that the government has been unable to address all the issues they complained about and told the people that the CDC government was not doing. According to her, all the projects, particularly roads and public bridges, were started by the CDC government. The fight against drugs is a masquerade of failure under this government. Katama brings Unity Party's drug war. Political commentator Abdullah Katama has accused the government of failing miserably in its fight against drugs in the country, describing its efforts as ineffective and inadequate. According to Katama, the government, particularly the president's signature drugs initiative, has failed to effectively address the nation's growing drug problem, adding that it is a disastrous failure and a monstrosity of failure under this government. Katama argued that the government's alleged failures include its refusal to arrest and prosecute suspected drug traffickers its inability to provide adequate rehabilitation services for people struggling with drug addiction, and its failure to implement effective drug prevention and control programs. Senator Snow and Amarcone demand independent probe into 19.2 million United States dollars Roberts International Airport cocaine bust, cite joint security. Two senators, Edwin Snow and Amarcone, have formally requested a transparent and independent investigation into the recent 19.2 million United States dollars cocaine interception at Roberts International Airport, submitting a letter to Senate plenary Tuesday that calls for legislative oversight and accountability. The communication acknowledged the Joint Security Forces and the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency for intercepting what is being described as a record-breaking shipment. The senators, however, rejected what they termed a compromise or political probe, in insisting that unanswered questions remain about how such a massive transitional consignment into Liberia and bypass airport security and VIP channels. The communication stated that to uphold Liberia's international reputation and secure our borders, a rigorous independent inquiry must be launched to expose all financiers, facilitators, and internal accomplices. The senator urged plenary to initiate oversight measures, including establishing or supporting an impartial investigation capable of identifying all individuals and institutions involved and ensuring full prosecution under the law. Plenary voted to cite the Joint Security Task Force to appear before the full Senate to answer questions surrounding the seizure. Senators thank the President pro tempore and colleagues for the urgent consideration and overwhelming endorsement of the letter. Deputy Speaker Fala apologizes and retracts statement made against Speaker Richard Nangwe-Kun. Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala has retracted apologies to Speaker Richard Kun following a communication on the agenda of the Honorable House of Representatives in session. The communication was written by Grangeda County District Number 3 Representative Jacob Debbie, requesting a retraction and investigation of a public statement attributed to Deputy Speaker Fala during his appearance on Spoon Talk on Sunday, June 28, 2026. But in a public post on his official Facebook page, Deputy Speaker Fala clarified that comments on Spoon Talk regarding Speaker Richard Nangwe-Kun were made in good faith and without any intent to mislead or undermine him, stating he hereby retract his statement and offer his sincere apology. According to him, he and Speaker Kun shared a long-standing personal relationship that predates our current roles in the Honorable House, stressing that he values that relationship deeply and has no intention of doing anything to jeopardize the mutual respect between them. And the Liberia National Police has charged Adama B. Moba, Lucy T. Yelu, Josephine Toba Kamara, Winnie N. Shannon, John D. Reese III, and Emmanuel Sources Yale, charged in absentia following an investigation into an alleged 301,515 fraud scheme at Diaconia Microfinance and Deposit Taking Institution. The suspects exploited weaknesses in the institution's mobile money system between January 2025 and March 2026, processing unauthorized deposits, and withdrawals that bypass established controls. According to a police charge sheet, the accused face charges including criminal conspiracy, criminal facilitation, forgery, and theft of property. The case has been forwarded to court for prosecution. The Liberia National Police says it remains committed to investigating financial crimes, protecting the integrity of Liberia's financial institutions, and ensuring that offenders are held accountable through due process. That was the latest new update. My name is Lovecta Davis. Good evening.
Davis for ensuring that our news be read on L.I.B Future TV, Voices of Progressive Liberians. As we said earlier on, this is the national discourse for the Liberians. And this evening, we are having conversations pertinent to the progress of our country and, the current happenings that, are lingering in the public space of this country called Liberia. So wherever you are listening to us from this evening, we like to say welcome. Welcome. This is Kia Radio 95.9, and we are live on Liberia Future TV. And this is the national discourse where we give the voiceless the voices. We give the voiceless, a platform where their voices can be heard, as well as they can listen to every major happenings that is taking place in our country and its surrounding. We like to sincerely apologize, Catherine Gibson. I should have been on the show this evening, but due to other circumstances, she won't be on the show this evening with us. Another time she will come in and we'll have a conversation. But there are, critical issues that borders on the progress of our country this evening that I think is necessary for us to have a conversation on. And Isaac S. George, is very, very apt and interested in having a conversation that is very, very pivotal to the progress of our country this evening. And I want us to begin by, understanding the nature of everything that is happening in our country today. Because in recent times, before the 2023 presidential and general elections, we were disillusioned as Liberians. To a larger extent, we were sick and tired by the way the country was being led under the stewardship of our former president, His Excellency President George Manuel Weah. And we channeled, majority of the Liberians channeled their own disillusionment against Weah through the Unity Party administration. And today, as a result of that disillusionment, which was being channeled by the Unity Party through the Unity Party administration, we do have His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boakai seated as president today of our country since 2023 up to 2026, and today marks the last day of June 2026. It is 2 years, 6 months, or 2 years, 5 months. One may want to argue into the presidency and the administration of the Unity Party and its alliance. Fellow Liberians, there are several other happenings. We had our expectations. Those expectations we had were very high, and the status of our expectations, I believe now, is to a disappointing end, or perhaps, it can be described as a serious disappointment. And that is one of the reasons why this platform is being organized, the national discourse, to have conversations that are very, very much vital to the progress of our state, because we are no longer going back to the butchers. We use the microphones. We are going to use our voices. We are going to use our pen. We are going to use every civil means possible to ensure that the right things be done in our country. And we have placed ourselves in positions where we are going to add to national growth through speaking to these national issues. So, over the weekend, the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, joined other political leaders in Brandida County, the famous Zulu whiskey, and it was particularly marked a day set aside to celebrate the 22nd anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change, the CDC. And to a larger extent, we saw slew of people, inhabitants, Liberians, and opposition political figures attending that particular program, the 22nd anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change. And there were statements ranging from distinct opposition political figures as well as Liberians who are in the opposition community, and they made those statements that were particularly directed at the condition for which the Liberian people find themselves in currently under the stewardship of President Borkai. And Mr. Cummings served as the keynote speaker for that event. I want us to listen to several other Liberians giving their distinct views pertinent to what Mr. Cummings said at the 22nd anniversary celebration of the CDC, and what is their own candid analysis of what he said. So Tuzon is at control. Tuzon, I would like for you to please play us the video so that our listeners can have a take of what Liberians on other national and international wires are saying. Yes, Tuzon. I think we're having some technical glitches, but Tuzon will play the video. But on, on a very serious note, people are now saying that there is uh, something in the air where the politics of our country is about to change. Before this time, or before now, or before Friday, Liberians were making, the deliberation that the opposition is disunited. The opposition need to be united. We do not need power struggle. We do not intend to have an opposition of yesteryears where a specific group of people from the opposition is going to be, accusing the other group of people from the opposition community as well of, malevolence, or perhaps, tainted actions that will derail the progress or the political progress of the opposition community. And as a result of that, Liberians have been able to speak to that effect in showing that the caution this current opposition community and these leaders that are in the opposition community as a means of ensuring that they unify themselves, they come under a single umbrella to ensure that they oust the Unity Party led administration. So the happenings in Grand Jida County over the weekend bespeaks, or it shows a picture that the opposition community made in respect to all of the statements made on Saturday, may in a very optimistic format come together the sooniest to ensure that they have a singular agenda. And that particular agenda will be, to ensure that Mr. Borkai, as well as the Unity Party Alliance, be booted out of power as we all draw close to 2029. So that is one of the major happenings. And as I listened to Mr. Cummings's address, to the Liberian people and the audience in Grangeda County at the 22nd anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change attend to realize that all of the statements made by the political leader of the ANC was greatly in line with patriotism. It was squarely in line with witticism. Somebody would say wisdom. Yes, indeed. I believe that that is the backdrop from whence Mr. Cummings spoke. Too much wisdom was involved in his deliberation to the Liberian people and the audience at the 22nd anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change. One of the things he stated very clearly that the Liberian people deserve a leadership that will work in their collective interest. In paraphrasing, and over the period, it is a testament that we have been bedeviled by poverty. We are strangled by low delivery of healthcare system in our country. Education is on the incremental decrease, and we have politicians, those of the people who are controllers of the state's covers, are involving themselves into opulence and extreme wealth at the expense of the Liberian people. And Mr. Cummings' statement, directly goes in that regard that over the years, Liberians have been Liberians have been strangled by the hands of poverty, by the force of them being pushed to the low places of the earth. And as a result of that, it is important that we come together under a singular umbrella to ensure that were Liberia to have a distinct leadership tomorrow, that leadership distinctively should lead in the collective interest of the Liberian people. And Mr. Cummings' address also stressed on the significance of the mismanagement of our natural resources in this country. He said the natural resources of our country is very, very much pivotal, vital, and essential, that it cannot only be used on a specific segment of our population, particularly the percentage of individuals that find themselves in government, but rather those of the Liberians that need urgent transformation in their living conditions. And that is a patriotic assertion from my, perspective, because look, we see government officials in this country, they are riding the best of vehicles, they are living the best of life, and they are living in extreme extravagance at the expense of the Liberian people. And what gives them the opportunity to have access to all of these affluence is the resources the Liberian people the Liberian people do have and own. And at the expense of the Liberian people, these resources have been mismanaged. Liberia is not a poor country. Liberia is poorly mismanaged. And that is the backdrop as I, read through the statement and I listened to Mr. Cummings' deliberation. I think that is the backdrop from which Mr. Cummings spoke. And it's very essential that, we think deep when we listen to these words that are etched in wisdom, and particularly a picture of progress in our country. And it is very important for us to take into consideration such a statement. And Mr. Cummings also stressed on the need of the justice system in our country, or the jurisprudence of Liberia as a nation. And on the other hand, I want to argue that justice in this country has been a routine. It has been a routine happening, that justice in this country is not served as the way it should be served in the collective interest of the nation. Justice sees a specific group of people and it doesn't see a specific group of people. And Mr. Cummings has argued consistently and at that particular program specifically that the justice system in our country should not be a justice system for the rich, but rather the rich and the poor, where the collective interest of the Liberian people can be seen in the you know jurisprudence of our country. He also said that targeting political opponents through the utilization of justice in our country is not an action that is akin to wisdom, but rather an action that is akin to, deliberate selfishness, as well as, partiality in the exhibition of ensuring that justice prevail in our country. And over the period, that is what we've seen. Since this Unity Party government came to power, 10 new officials have left their positions because the president of the country doesn't want to see those individuals in these positions, even though the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court of this country, has stated clearly to President Boakai that 10 new officials should be given their positions so that they can be reinstated in their position to end or climax their tenure. The president of this country has stated categorically no. I was following Tiawan Gonglo live today when he attended the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions, one of the local intellectual centers in our country. And today is International Law Day. And as per that, Honorable Tiawan Gonglo went and he decided to address the audience at that particular intellectual center. And he made an assertion that I think is a revelation. He said during the past administration, there were reports that rule of law is at the downtrend of 40% in our country during the past administration. Fast forward, since the inception of President Boakai and his cohorts and the Unity Party Alliance, rule of law has remained stagnant. That is, it remains at that particular 40%. And he did his own mathematical analysis and he said 40 plus 40 equals 0 because the numbers remains unchanged. And that bespeaks no progress. It actually bespeaks stagnation. And as a country and people, we should be able to ensure that rule of law prevailed, because that is one of the pillars of the arrest agenda. When the president was coming to power, His Excellency President Boakai, one of the pillars of his agenda that he's amplified when he was in opposition is the rule of law. He argued while in opposition that the rule of law is not respected in our country, and the Liberian people deserve to be respected through the utilization of the rule of law. Since the president came to power, there have been several other controversial legal happenings, even disagreeing with the highest court in the land. And this is a fact. This is a fact. A sitting speaker at the level of the House of Representatives was being booted out, even though the court of the land, the highest court of the land, said to the president and the Unity Party Alliance that the action from the majority black was ultra-vires. Ultra-vires means they were wrong, but rather the president went and stated very categorically that he is going to work with the majority bloc, even though the court in the land, the highest court, the Supreme Court in the land, told the president that the decision by the majority black was ultra-vires. So it means that rule of law under this president has gone to bed. Because if the president cannot listen to the highest court in the land, the court that is there to ensure that the laws of our country be respected, the policies of our country be adhered to and enforced properly in the collective interest of the Liberian people. If the president cannot listen to the highest court in the land, then who can the president listen to? Who can His Excellency President Joseph William Boakai listen to? And that is the backdrop from which the political leader of the ANC, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, said the rule of law in this country is not respected. And Honorable Tewan Gonglo just amplified that. He alluded to that reality this afternoon as I listened to him on his social media page. So, fellow Liberians, over the weekend, aside from Mr. Cummings' address, there were other statements made by, other opposition figures, namely Simeon Freeman, the political leader of one of the political parties in our country, the local political parties. We listened to Musa Hassan Bility, and he stated very categorically that we are not just coming together to grab power. We are coming together to make fundamental change in our country. And I want to agree with him. It is the same thing that is being seen in the statement of Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings, at that particular program, even though it was a CDC program, Mr. Cummings said administration of the past and the current have hampered the progress of the Liberian people. They have derailed the progress of the Liberian people at that CDC program. So if the opposition community is to come under a singular umbrella to ensure that they draft in a policy argument to the Liberian people, it should be from the backdrop where they are not coming to grab power, but they are coming to, foment change. They are bringing transformative ideas, transformative policies that the Liberian people can collectively benefit from. I don't know as to whether Tuzon is ready for our video, but let us go to Tuzon so that he can at least, ensure that we listen to cross-section of views, as I stated earlier, from well-meaning Liberians that weigh in their own perspective as it relates to the address made by Mr. Cummings recently at the 22nd anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change. Tuzon, let's take you from there.
Partners, as friends, as political parties. The second thing is, it's a clarion call to all Liberians that indeed there is a time in Liberia that realization can set in, that everyone who has a stake must realize that any position you can serve to get the truck moving, you serve that position, and that's what Cummings asserted. Cummings is not being selfish here, and we cannot twist his words. The man said it from the beginning of his speech, and many times people try to twist his words. This is not going to be twisted today. He is very clear. He is as easily understood as possible. So we believe that Cummings mean well. This is a beginning of another dispensation in a Liberian political setting. That
Cummings could not have delivered a better speech that I will ever hope for. Mr. Cummings spoke to the heart of the reality today. I have been angry. Mr. Cummings, stand up, God, please now.
His speech. What are you talking about?
Stand up, why you can't give me a chance, brother? Stand up. No. You won't take me off track. I don't want to move on track. No. So stand up. Stand up. I who have been angry have Mr. Cummings didn't point to our mistakes. Can I be here and say CDC government had no mistake? No. CDC government had mistake. Let me tell you one. President, we are beginning president and appointed Bangura as a deputy minister and man in charge of managing the prices. President, we are appointed Bangura.
To construct an agenda, to construct a plan that will once and for all deliver for the Liberian people. So that has to be front and center of any discussion around constructing an opposition bloc. That's one. Two, again, Mr. Cummings, by all stretch of imagination, is a celebrated Liberian. He's a great Liberian. We all here have the greatest respect for this man, for his accomplishment, for his achievement globally, but also for the fact that a Liberian was able to achieve all of this. So his speech today, in my opinion, it was an excellent speech. And I think reading his speech, in my opinion, captured every single thing across the landscape today, that needs to be captured. And also emphasize the fact that we also need to unify the opposition to present a bankable plan to the Liberian people and make that plan and base the case for power in 2029. Now, one important point that has also been talked about here across the board today has got to do with the fact that the Unity Party that is in power now, replacing it, and it's
they let the Liberian people down, and what new they could offer. They missed that opportunity to the extent. And Cummings, my friend, Dr. George Guy, I think if anybody walk out of today's meeting with something better than what they went in with, or with much more hope for being a great contender in 2029 than they went in, it was Cummings. For one singular reason. Cummings, somewhere in the middle of his speech, said that Liberia's problems can be blamed on this government and the government before. It took a lot of courage to say that. And in my mind, that was the most powerful line in his entire speech. And that one singular line made him to come out of today's program much stronger than he went in there.
So thank you so very kindly, fellow Liberians. That was the voices ranging from eminent Liberians that, are political analysts as well, analyzing the statement made by the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Mr. Cummings. And if you are just joining us, this is Kia 95.9 FM, and we are live on L.I.B Future TV. And I'm Isaac S. George, your host. I'd like to say thank you so very kindly for joining us. So, Liberians, that is how people view Mr. Cummings. If you listen to one of the analysts, he said Mr. Cummings is a celebrated Liberian. He is a very good man. And he spoke very patriotically in the collective interest of the Liberian people. He lashed at the former president. We are doing his administration. And at that particular event, he also stated it clearly that in contribution to Liberia's backwardness and its stagnant position as it is right now, the CDC and the Unity Party are major contributors. So there is a time for change in our country. And that is the backdrop from which Mr. Cummings spoke. So our next talking point this evening is the drug saga in our country. That is a major national issue that should be widely talked about, should be consistently talked about. And Liberia as a nation, in my view, is too that small or little to have been a country that is grappling with the issue of drugs. I'm not saying Liberia can automatically eradicate drugs, but the proliferation of drugs in our country is on an alarming scale. And as alarming it is, we should be able to kick against that very soon so that we can have a realization of the future of the young people in this country, the future which we do envisage as a nation and as a people. Since 2005, the Liberian youth in this country have been bewitched by the presence of drugs in this country. And it is a very, very sad scenario for us to get to know. What makes it much more sad is the fact that the young people of this country, they are the future. If you do your research, you will realize that the young people comprise at least over 75% of the population of this country. And as a result of that number, a majority of the young people are increasingly getting involved into the intake of substance abuse. It is very sad. They are abusing narcotics on a daily basis. And the young people of this country, as we always state, they are the future of this country, and drugs should not be as available as it is to them. Drugs is as available as corruption to the young people in this country, as corruption is as available to state actors, to people who find themselves in positions of power today. And that is how drugs is available to the young people of this country, fellow Liberians. And it is a very critical issue that we should be able to talk about. We should be able to ensure that the issue of drugs be curtailed in our country to a greater extent, because Liberia is that too little, like I said earlier, to be grappling with a huge level of drug crisis in its society. So I read the communication from the office of the Senate Pro Temporal Yombri Kanga Lawrence this evening, urging the presence of the LDEA and the joint security to appear before plenary on Thursday to answer questions as relates to the 19.1 million drug saga in our country, after having received a communication from one of the senators, Senator Edwin Melvin Snow, to listen to the status of the investigation from the joint security in our country. And you know, the Ministry of Justice, the LDEA, the Liberian National Police, and every security apparatus that is, you know, involved with tackling, according to them, this transnational crime syndicate. They have not been able to adequately inform the Liberian people as it relates to the status of the investigation, and they have not made a single arrest. They have not made a single arrest. The Justice Ministry investigation is, you know, a semblance of confusion. The Liberian people are confused at this point in time as relates to the status of the investigation, because that huge level of consignment at our international airport was being seized. 19.1 million United States dollars is a very huge amount of money. It is a very huge quantity of drugs. And there have been several other revelations that we have listened to recordings, video footages from ranging from CCTV camera to phones camera, alleging that specific individuals named in this particular matter are involved. And the Justice Ministry and the joint security of our country is yet to make a singular arrest as it relates to the drug saga. And I want to agree with the Honorable Senator from Bombing County, Honorable Snow. I mean, it is important because the Alternative National Congress, through its political leader, Mr. Cummings, also called on the LDEA to be very, very much responsive to the Liberian people in telling them the status of the investigation. The Liberian people deserve to know. It is part of, transparency in government. It is a key tenet of governmental practices, fellow Liberians. And if the government cannot be transparent, the government is being coerced to being transparent, then we question the status of the investigation also. We question the point at which the Ministry of Justice as well as the joint security is at. Because drugs in our country is a very, very, very grave concern. The proliferation of drugs in our country is a grave concern. Our young people in the streets of Monrovia are working without future. Their future, to a larger extent, seemingly has elapsed because the government of the day have no plans. If the government have plans by now, the young people that are in the streets of Monrovia and its environs will be able to have access to rehabilitation centers. Has the government, since its inception to power, since 2023 up until now, have the government I constructed or erected a project that will ensure that the young people who have been abused by drugs in our country can have access to rehabilitation centers? Is the government making such a stride? Is the government really working in such a direction to ensure that the young people who have been abusing drugs in this country be rehabilitated so that we can have a preservation of their future? Fellow Liberians, we want to know. We deserve to know. And I want to agree with the honorable lawmaker, the senator of Bowman County, Honorable Snow, for writing such a communication to the pro tem's office so that the joint security, the Ministry of Justice can go and answer some questions. Because, as I said, the Liberian people deserve to know the status of the investigation. The Liberian people have all right to understand the way in which the investigation is being held, to know to what extent has the investigation taken the joint security, who are those that are seemingly involved, and those of whom that may be culpable as a result of this 19.1 million saga. It's a very, very grave issue in our country. And no one should be able to politicize the issue of drugs, because the issue of drugs in our country does not see a political party. The issue of drugs in our country does not see a specific politician. It confronts every Liberian. One way or the other, every Liberian is confronted by the issue of drugs in this country, because we are connected in whatever way possible. And as a result of that, a cousin or a family member or a relative or someone whom we may be in connection with is being affected by drugs. What are we doing? What are we doing as Liberians, as nation people? What are we doing? Since 2005, we had a democratically elected government up to 2026. It has been over 21 years, and we have been seeing numerous of disturbing cases of drugs proliferation in our country. And many young people have died. Many young people's future is questionable as a result of the abuse of drugs in our country. Fellow Liberians, I believe it is time for us to ask these hard questions. I want to, I thank and appreciate the honorable lawmaker of Bowman County, Honorable Snow. Yesterday, the LDEA went to make an arrest. Why arresting, or perhaps, investigating as it relates to whether an inhabitant of one of the local communities in our country had drugs at her house? She was being stripped naked. What level of unprofessionalism is that? What level of unprofessionalism is that? If you go to make an arrest, or if you go to make an inquest, you do not go to the extent of humiliating the person for whom you went to make an inquiry or an inquest to. I watched that video. It was very, very disturbing. It was very, very disturbing, fellow Liberians. If we see the big guns, those of whom that have connection in government, getting involved into drugs, we use the senior method to investigate. But when common Liberians who are allegedly involved into drugs activity in our country, we use the cheetah method, or someone may say the tiger method, because we can be very fast in ensuring that, we meet those individuals to have them either arrested, incarcerated, or disgraced. But it is very, very much significant, fellow Liberians, that in these times we do not humiliate our fellow Liberians because we are in position of power and authority. I think it was out of the bar of professionalism and the ethics and the statutory command of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency to have that lady being stripped naked because the LDEA went to make an arrest. I want to use this platform to call on the boss of the LDEA to investigate that matter. And every officer involved should be brought under serious scrutiny. And either some of them should take suspension. You went to do your job professionally. Do your job in the confines of professionalism. That is the essence of, a law enforcement officer. To do your job without controversy. But when you start to strip people naked and it is being shown on the social media, then we believe that the action of yours is particularly condemnable and, very, very much negative. Fellow Liberians. So the issue of drugs in our country is very, very much important to be discussed, because the future of the young people of this country borders on the issue of drugs. If a young person takes in drugs, as a result of that, he or she is not conscious. He or she will be very much unconscious. And you will go about doing things that is not humanly possible done when you are in, your conscious state. And that is why we have stressed the need that government redirect its attention to tackling drugs in this country. Ghettos are all around our city. Ghettos are all around our country. And young people are the major consumer of drugs in this country. The young people of this country are the major consumers of drugs in Liberia. And there is an urgent need that the young people of this country, their future be protected, conserved, as well as jealously handled by the leaders of our state. Because we're there to wear away tomorrow. The young people of this nation are the group of people that are going to take control of state power. We do not want intakers or consumers of drugs to be our leaders tomorrow. We do not want those kind of people to be our leaders. That is why we are speaking against issues that will hamper and derail the progress of the young people of this country. Fellow Liberians, drugs is a very, very much grave issue. And we should be very, very much meticulous in ensuring that we have an impact of curtailing this issue of drugs. Fellow Liberians, the issue of drugs, fellow Liberians, it actually, brings much sadness to me. Increased sadness, fellow Liberians, that we are yet to mitigate drugs in our country, and government officials are involved. People that have access to power and authority in this country are involved, thereby crumbling the future of the young people of this country. And you want to sit there and politicize the issue? Do you think that perspective of yours is nationalistic or it is patriotic? The answer to that question is no. Because the issue of drugs is not a political issue, it is an issue of national concern. It is an issue of national concern, and each and every Liberian should be concerned. Each and every Liberian should be particularly concerned about the negative impact of drugs in this country. So we go to the last talking point before we go to the line. Fellow Liberians, we want to go to our last talking point before going to the line to take your calls so that you can have your say on this all important segment of our today's program on the national discourse. If you just joining us, this is here Radio 95.9 and L.I.B Future TV live streaming the national discourse. This is a platform that bring together major national issues that will be discussed or that are being discussed, every Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and we bring to your doorstep major happenings in our country. I'm Isaac S. George. Let us go to the last issue before we take your calls this evening, and I want us to have our attention being drawn to the border crisis. Before the border crisis took place in Liberia, we realized that the nation that we jealously believe will make progress is a nation where people cannot politicize issues that are particularly nationalistic. The reason why I believe that, if we do believe that Liberia is our common denominator, that Liberia is the element that every Liberian, despite your political affiliation, your religious affiliation, your tribal affiliation, you want to protect the sovereignty of this country, you will not politicize a national issue such as the border issue. And the preservation of our borders in this country is very, very much significant and essential. But what are the news we have been receiving from relevant authorities? In regards to this particular border issue? Let me take your mind back. The Foreign Ministry, after President Bokai had gone to Guinea to speak to the Guinean president, Dumuyam, as it relates to the border crisis in Solomba, leaving Liberians in fear for their lives and extreme hopelessness. The president left immediately. After the president left immediately, the Liberian people, through the executive mansion, were being informed. They were being informed as it relates to the status of the border issue. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the executive mansion informed the Liberian people that the issue was being placed in a very, very controllable state, and Liberians can go about their normal business. Journalists from independent media institutions went at the Solomon border to investigate as to whether the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Information, and the Executive Mansion through the Presidential Press Secretary were giving information concomitant and in concurrence with what is transpiring at the Solomon border. Fellow Liberians, it will interest you to know that there were contradicting information emanating from these three government institutions: the Foreign Affairs, the Executive Mansion, and the Ministry of Information. As a result of that Solomon border crisis, we no longer have a representative at the House of Representatives from District Number 10, former Representative Honorable Yeke Koluba, who has been expelled for statements made in respect to the Solomon border crisis. Recently, we listened to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeremy Pia, on ELBC, the state-owned radio. And he said at the border, Liberians are going about on their normal business. But with the presence of Guinean soldiers, army personnel, military personnel on our land, the land which is owned by Liberian and Liberia, according to the Ministry of Information, the Executive Mansion, and the Foreign Affairs, how well and can Guineans army personnel stay on the land that is purportedly or assumingly owned by Liberia? Honorable Thomas Fala recently sat on one of the local radio stations, specifically on Spoon FM, and he clearly stated that that particular border, that particular area, is part of his district, Solomba, and his people are there. He's representing them, and he is in fear of their lives. And he is going to ensure that he have a conversation with the president so that this particular issue can be resolved amicably, so that Liberians can have access to their land once more. But the politics regarding the sovereignty of our country is increasingly alarming, and it is an act of disappointment. It is an act of disappointment. The border crisis of our country is very insensual, fellow Liberians. We cannot have different nationals, people from another country's army, being residing on Liberia's land. We as a sovereign nation, as an independent state, it is an affront to us. It is an affront to us. And we should be very clear. We should be very emphatic about our stance on this particular matter. If the issue is being handled diplomatically, the Liberian people deserve to know as to whether the issue is being handled diplomatically and the status of the diplomatic engagement the Liberian government have done with Guinea. The Liberian people deserve to know. But you cannot politicize the issue by expelling another lawmaker, by giving contradictory information to the Liberian people. I do not believe that the Liberian people deserve to be misled. I do not believe that the Liberian people deserve to be misled. So, fellow Liberians, if you're just joining us, this is Kia Radio 95.9, and we are live on L.I.B Future TV. It is the Liberian Discourse. This platform is particularly meant to discuss critical national issues and bring together the voices of Liberians who are going to be following us live and listening to us via radio, so that they can have their say on this particular matter that we are discussing this evening, and every other matters that will be discussed here on every Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And they will have their say, fellow Liberians. So if you are just joining us, we like to say welcome to the national discourse. The national discourse, and we have numbers to call in. So if you want to participate on the platform this evening, we like for you to call 077759959, 077759959, and 0881871670, 077759959, 0881871670. I think we have a call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, how are you, sir?
Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from? Please call your name and tell us where are you joining us from.
I'm Eric Cassell.
Eric who?
Eric Cassell calling from Looking Town.
Okay, Eric Cassell from Looking Town. Eric, please make your point. Okay, Eric slipped away. We lost Eric, but please call in 077759959 and 0881871670. We have a call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
I'm Henry Flomo calling from District 13.
Okay, Henry Flomo from District 13. Henry, please make your point. We are listening.
Yeah, my brother. Nothing in this country would not be for this system. When you got a responsible government that what can happen. Yeah? The people that eat power. If there was different party that was in power, the people not get on the street protest. But other people talking that they not protesting. So nothing in the country that would not be protesting. There's I'm a responsible government in power. When you get responsible government in power, what can happen? So that's the way. Thank you.
Okay, Eric, thank you so very kindly for joining us. We have a call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
I'm calling from Tansi or Westfield. My name is Benu Concern Women for Justice.
Okay, man, Benu, we listen to you listen to all of the major talking points, man, Benu. Please give us your own perspective as it relates to what we're being discussed here this evening, man, Benu.
The talking point here, it said well, it talked well, Papa. It made me fear. Now I fear in Liberia. I don't know what to do.
Man, Benu, what are you afraid of?
I feel the thing are going on. Look at the other woman, what they beat on to you, they make it what they put on Facebook. They I seen horses.
Yeah, man, Benu, that video was very, very much disgraceful. I actually saw it and I feel bad for her.
A disgrace for the country, a disgrace for the president, because the president we make government. Because we put in there, we make government, but they are president. But it was disgrace today for you to beat the woman and disgrace.
Oh, Man Benu slipped away. Man Benu is expressing her own dissatisfaction with the way and manner in which the lady whom I talked about, was being handled, and I think the LDEA actually slipped and they acted very, very much unprofessional as it relates to their own operation, and it is a matter that warrants a level of condemnation. If you are just joining our fellow Liberians, like I said, the line to call in is the lines to call in are 077759959 and 0881871670. Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Thank you, and thank you very much, my dear brother. I see, and thanks also to the hardworking family of the great KFA family for the recognitions for the public and Poker Robert.
Yeah, Poker Robert. Good evening, the great Poker Robert. How are you?
Yeah. Man, just for our anniversary or long distance or Grand Gita County. So we just taking a little bit rest and sabbatical, but the topic of discussion is very fascinating and it was discussing.
Okay, Poker. So please, yes, please weigh in.
You see, Mr. Poker taking himself to be joke, he's taking 11 to be joke. Because if I say he's taking himself to be joke, that means Mr. Poker doing, he's doing the same, you know what? Because if Mr. Poker see that this drugs that his son brought, allegedly his son brought.
Poker, let me hold you there. You are saying allegedly his son brought. Do you have credible facts as it relates to what you are making a section of? Because it is now a matter of involving the son of the president, the head of state. Poker.
Thank you very much. I got substantive and sufficient evidence.
So, Poker, were you to be called by the Ministry of Justice tomorrow morning, and the Minister of Justice, Oswald Twe, tells you, Poker, I listened to you on one of the local radio stations, and you said you have substantial evidence to prove that the president's son is involved in this 19.1 million drug saga. Will you be able to provide the evidence?
Thank you very much. And I want to reiterate for the Minister of Justice and whosoever state security provider to get it very categorically, emphatically clear. I want to reiterate that they must get it very categorically and emphatically clear that the 19 million drugs that came to this country or that were arrested at the Rawa International Airport were brought by nobody but the president's son. Those are human brother's son. If the Justice Minister want evidence to what that effect against substantive and sufficient evidence to the effect.
Thank you so very kindly, Poker.
I'm not done yet.
So conclude in 1 minute, Poker.
Thank you very much. So to conclude, we are not joke. Mr. Poker and he cuckoo down they are joke. You cannot come here and say, George now bringing your son is a notorious drug dealer. Notorious that actually you have been caught in the wet and you are shooting it or watching. This particular drug issue will not go on the carpet. You got our moral, our drag beating. Tomorrow we'll meet the victim. Our beating just 2 days ago by the DA, by the injustice, the injustice and the incompetent DA. Because if you're competent, you must put your job first and put everything at the back. But Mr. DA boss, you say you're competent, you let one. I will call it Karika Joe's son to be tracking your integrity to the most.
Yes, Poker, before you go, you were in Grand Gita County and we listened to slew or different statements emanating from opposition figures that attended your party's anniversary. But specifically, Mr. Cummings served as the keynote speaker and he spoke on a wide range of issues. I mean, what do you make of the statement made by the political leader of the Alternative National Congress?
Thank you very much, my dear brother. As I said earlier, we the civil rights movement. We are going tomorrow to meet the victim that DA just bought their horse, and we're going to meet them tomorrow to march with them for justice. That if the DA bought cannot bring the particular perpetrator, we treat him for that phone to broke. Trust me, that particular mother, we are standing with her, and we'll take the DA bought the court, and we'll take the entire the DA administration to court for what? For naked. And even breaking our mother, because man, that woman is a mother. You see, probably we will leave that 1 year and we'll prepare a question. You see, Mr. Cummings is the leader. It was just a reckless and ruthless, or creative people that you were with. But Mr. Cummings is a leader. And I can tell you, Mr. Cummings spoke very brilliantly. He spoke brilliantly. Very brilliantly, Mr. Cummings spoke, and he spoke to the issues. Mr. Cummings is not a person that just go after speaking, he's erroneous. He speaks, and then while he's speaking, he speaks on tangibles and he speaks on facts. What Mr. Cummings said, the content of our program, trust me, the Parker administration, the Parker administration is related. They are related. Because when you see the letter Cummings, see a man and leader coming together. They say, all of the people come
come together with a female, they tell you that they quote unquote trust cartel. They are already done.
Thank you so very kindly, Poker Roberts, for joining us this evening on the National Discourse Hour. This is the National Discourse that bring together voices of Liberian. 0777959959, 0881871670. I think we have a call on the line there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from? Yes, you are live. Your name is and where are you joining us from? Mohammed, you have got to be audible, please.
Now?
Yes, we are hearing you now.
Okay. Well, I joined a conversation from the Japan aluminum factory.
Okay, from all the way there at aluminum factory. So, Mohammed, let's get you.
Well, I want to discuss about the inability of leadership by this government, and more especially by the DEA officers that went to that poor, people that live in Zing house, and then when they start demolishing the place without no teacher warrant, all of them constitution say that before you do anything to a pressing place, the court should be well. But we didn't see no court, teacher warrant, no notification. We just see the DA guys just demolishing the place. When they met the people in the house, they lie, having different form, and we can't even see the judge when they posted the form within the house, and they just on this government. We told the people yesterday that Mr. Buhari, do not have no leadership ability. This man is a vindictive president. This man goes for people. You cannot elect trust president. The L.I.B people were manipulated by the propaganda and they elected this government. And see why the country is running. See how our entire country is heading. Now things is very difficult. As for me, I'm a hustler. I complain. What's about those that are even hustling? No, what people are saying this problem. So thank you guys for this great show.
Okay, Mohammed, thank you for joining us. I think we have a call on the line there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening. And please say your name and tell us where are you joining us from?
Amos,
yeah, Amos, let's hear you.
When it comes to criminal investigation, I want the technical point in law. And I'm speaking from the informed background.
Are you a student of criminal justice, Amos?
When you arrest, you got 48 hours to charge.
Okay.
And when you charge, you have to go to court. So you get arrested when you don't have evidence. Or even if you arrest or when you're investigating, you have evidence, then you arrest, then you charge. Because you can't mind you for 8 hours, people probably have to come in the mega lawyer. The person lawyer can start defend, try to defend that person. And you get keep the man in custody for more than 48 hours. The law will come.
Okay.
So I'm not saying you as a journalist, when the people don't have evidence, they cannot ever be investigating people who they think are linked to it. They just issue we're talking about, they will not call anybody here to say, oh, they caught the person with it was.
No, we are not saying the Ministry of Justice should be able to take an arrest or the LDEA should take an arrest. We are demanding answers. No, please, listen, Mohammed. No, Mohammed, you have your time. Mohammed, you have your time. We are simply saying that the LDEA and the Joint Security should tell the Liberian people the status of the investigation. That is our point. Like no, listen, Mohammed, this platform is being controlled by me, and you will have to listen. I give you the time, please. No, I am allotting the time to you. So you cannot say you do not have the luxury of time. If I say you have the luxury of time, you will. If I say you do not have the latitude of time, I will tell you that you do not have. So, Mohammed, we are saying that the joint security should be able to tell the Liberian people the status of the investigation being led by them. That is why you find well-meaning Liberians who are calling them that it is important that you tell the Liberian people the status of the investigation. If individuals will be culpable, individuals of interest, we should know. So Thursday they will go at the plenary of the Honorable Senate to answer questions, right? So we did not say they should take them from their houses to go and arrest them. That is not what we are saying. We are saying that if the status of the investigation is being known and people are culpable or people of interest will be culpable, then arrest can be made. Drugs in our country is a non-bailable crime. So you can even be in jail. No, please listen. We know the issues surrounding that, right? You can even be in jail. Mohammed, if you can be in detention, which part of the detention you can be in? But you can be in detention to your house. Let's take a call, please. Let us take another call. 0777 959959 0881871670. Do we have a call there? Yes, good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, hello. I'm Henry again. Sorry, let me weigh on the drug issue.
Yeah, Henry, you have at least 1 minute.
Yeah, my brother, I heard somebody saying they didn't got nobody with a judge. Are you kidding me? What I mean, the judge there and win out to fly from Morocco and go to the airport.
But the drugs was even at someone's house. The home of the individual was being shown to the public. And Mohammed wants us to believe that the DEA and the Joint Security, including the Minister of Justice, doesn't know whom the drugs was at. It is very unfortunate that people will want to politicize this issue, my brother.
They tried to tell us the person who the drugs was taken from. They didn't do the person.
Yeah, so just conclude. Let's take another call.
So what is doing about that woman? Why they can't say you're to that home and go breaking that?
Yeah, I don't want to laugh.
More than 19 million shots. He said that 19 million will agree. Why you can't say you're machine to that house? Why you the drugs was taken from to go break that home down? By going after zero for opium business. You're going after the poor people that live in zero for opium business. Are you kidding me? They country that serious country, Nana. You listen to that era? What it was the letter is full.
Yes, sure.
You listen to it?
Yes, indeed.
So where are we now? The country image is good up there, right? The responsible government in power has come to them. It's so good responsible government in power now. Thank you, brother. Yeah, so
thank you so very kindly. Let us take another call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Good evening. As George. My name is Rufus PD Dish, and I do join.
Hello, Rufus?
Yeah, you getting me?
Yes, we are hearing you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Listen, thank you so very kindly for the talking about the discussion this evening. And you see, that's the reason why we said to the Liberian people. And we told them, we said, those guys.
Hello, Ruferson, are you there? So let us take another call there. Good evening, your name is and where are you joining us from?
Thank you so much.
Paco from the Unity Party Intellectual Bureau. Let's listen to Paco. Paco. Yes, let's hear you, please.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, people talking about the drug. You spoke over 2 hours to educate with the library. Thank God today for the information minister. He spoke well to the library for briefing today. And anyone who knows that this drug, please come. Don't be afraid. That's all I've been to you. Any government official here, anyone exposed their need, will need their need. And to the justice minister, I thank you. Also, the time is going. We depend on you. When I in the people water for nothing about the United Party Bureau. We work for the United Party Bureau. We can tell our leader the truth, not the other people. They come in here to fight drugs. Nobody coming to email. Our opposition want to run through it. And be very slow to the capital hall. He spoke. And was all behind it. And one of the propaganda way, that was the pretend. Come out for the trial. Come out official here. We in the trial. Go away for them. As I'm trying. You do the laboratory work. We want to get the individual need before they can show them more. Please, I thank you. Please speak.
So, Paco, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, you just stated that before the 16th of this month, you want to know, or before the 16th of next month, right? Because the month has ended. You want to know, okay, July, right? July 16, you want to know the status. Paco, please give me a chance. Paco, please give me a chance.
Thank you.
Okay, so you will want to know as to whether the DEA, the Joint Security, may have made an arrest, or can be able to explain to us, the Liberian people, the status of the investigation, right? And that is what we are saying. And you are accusing Honorable Edwin Melvin Snow to be a propaganda machinery for the opposition community, because the same question you are asking, that is the same question the Honorable Senator asked this afternoon. And he, I gave a communication to the Pro Tem's office. You don't trust Edwin Melvin Snow. So that was the voice. Okay. Okay, you do not trust Edwin Melvin Snow, and you also do not trust Amara Kone. Okay, Paco. Thank you so very kindly. Thank you so very kindly, Paco. Let us take calls, please. Good evening, caller. Your name is and where are you calling us from? Oh, that caller slip. If you're just joining us, this is the National Discourse on Kia 95.9 FM and streaming live on L.I.B Future TV. I think we have a call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Good evening, S. George, and good evening to our patriotic listeners.
Yeah, Rufus P. Dix is back on the line.
Thank you. My name is Rufus P. Dix, and I do join this educated conversation from the community where people are finding it difficult to have access to power water. The fresh water from the junior is difficult or the river as well. Let me say thank you for the talking point on this discussion this evening.
Yes, let's go ahead, Rufus.
That is the reason why we told that our people we share those guys. Part guys are those guys that breaking drugs in our country. When they're in opposition. So there you see that their hands is in the cookie jar. We're talking about 19.2 million. 19.2 million drugs in our country. We are exporting drugs out of the country. Up to now, there's no arrest. There's honesty. Can you imagine? Just yesterday, I saw on a video. I mean, that's the level of poor professionalism when it comes to the LDA. Look at the thing like that. In fact, the inside will treat you like a gangster. Can you imagine? You go and when you go see yourself doing the rifle thing, then you were naked. Can you imagine the lady was naked? But then, instead of you putting off your camera, you continue to show your camera where in which you get 19.2 million drugs, and you are not done with it. You're chasing the consumers. I mean, as the edge of the country is bleeding. The country is bleeding on Mr. Borkai today. The country is bleeding on Mr. Borkai tomorrow.
The country is bleeding under Mr. Borkai today. Rufus, please conclude in 30 seconds.
I want to appreciate Alexander Bennett Cummings for a person to have seen the entire opposition community of Liberia collaborating in Green Village to celebrate the CDC anniversary.
I mean, now the Liberian people have realized that the opposition community, they want the government involved to see the opposition community come together. So as a judge, I want to say thank you so much for affording me the opportunity.
Thank you so very kindly, Rufus and P. Dix. We have another caller on the line. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Good evening.
Yes, please state your name and tell us where you are joining us from.
I usually call from Chicago, but I'm calling right now from Real Estate.
So what are you doing Real Estate, Siliki? My hustle area. You living from your hustle ground at this time of the night. And thank you so very kindly for joining us, Siliki. Yes, Siliki, let's listen to you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I listened to your talking point and I listened to all that you have said. You see, that's a super color what you said there now. You see, Liberia, the former government was doing well in fighting drugs. And you saw they used to pass the drug law. Everything that the government is doing, and that the government did to move the CDC government from in power, everything was propaganda. It's just listen to the bad president, just the bomb down. You were telling me about 19 million drugs case. They will not get one person per now in jail. Today, they say they carry on investigation. So who are those that they are investigating? They were all the things that were running, they were doing all a lot of good people in power. It was just mere propaganda. It was things that the people, the Unity Party team, they are very still were doing to damage the country image. And you see that now. You were telling me that 19 million jobs, work for jobs like that just found that thing that today, you can't put nobody in jail. But when you go to a push or even one person from somebody, you post it all on Facebook. So the party government, the party government led by the president is that better. Everything that we see here is just a propaganda. See the in the street, see the women in the street, every day they crying. That when they go in the market, no buying. When the children come from school, no school fee. Look at the university fee now. Do you know that they not even take care of that university to that situation? So where are the best? Why is the rescue that they keep rescuing the people?
Where is the rescue? Siliki, please conclude in 30 seconds. We have other callers.
My conclusion is that everything that they told them was accusing the former government of, that they the one was doing it to spoil the country image. They were doing it to spoil the whole of the image. They were looking for sanction all around the four other government officials. But they are all coming and they will put sanction on some of them too. So thank you for your show.
Thank you so very kindly, Siliki, for joining us this evening. We have another call on the line. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Duo Community, a member of the UP Intellectual Bureau. I'm Segon Ganon. I try to analyze a few things from your analysis and some of the talking points. Yeah. Actually, let me say this to our listening audience. It is good for some of the guys from the Concern for Justice to be clear to say that, yes, the vice president, the former vice president's son and the president of the Republic of Liberia's son is bringing drugs. Because we're going to use them as witness. Because under our law, witness have something to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Boca Raba alleging that the president of the Republic of Liberia, son, is importing drugs into this country. I think it's alarming. It's relying from where he speaks. So we believe his information got some sense of reasoning. And let me say this, brother. The fight against drugs, no one should underestimate it. President Joseph Boca is committed to the fight against drugs, be his son, be it relative or government official. They must be held liable. They must be able to account for their action in this country. Keeping such drugs in our midst, and I can tell you, if you trace about $19 million drugs, if from the $100 million drugs that enter this country, we're not just react.
So say.
Yeah.
So you are also alleging that the drug issue that involved the CDC administration, where there were people found culpable, they went to court and the court vindicated them, and the court also told the government to pay back the money taken from those of the individuals that were being alleged to have been to have been found culpable of the crime, were not, found culpable of the crime, and they were being exonerated. That it is a part of that 100 million cocaine that was being seen at the RIA. No.
That is part of the cocaine that entered this country.
How did you know? How did you know?
Look at the current investigation. The current investigation is just to trace the date and time the drugs entered this country, right? Because when the drugs entered this country in Georgia, the way the ex-government, the last government managed our drugs or investigation, and the way they proceeded with it to court is still sending a dark cloud over the Bureau of Justice system. Our judiciary was stepped away on that drugs issue. So portion of the drug that entered the country, which we were not uncover, is what they were trying to take it out of the country, because the current way of tackling drugs is very strong. So that is the reason why they've been keeping it.
So
they took lapos, they took chikizu cartoon, and
so Siliki, the investigation has not found that revelation you are giving on this national platform. And no, please listen, Siliki. You had your time, right?
I'm listening.
Okay, so the investigation has not found as it relates to the assertion you are making, and I believe that. Please listen.
Yeah.
They are yet to uncover that time, but trust me, you are uncovering it for us on this platform.
I'm giving you an intelligent link, because that trust being kept. They are being kept because it's the kind of severity this president is applying on the fight against drugs. That's why they're trying to take it out of the country.
So if you have such an intelligence, can you help the joint security to ensure that their investigation be fast tracked?
We will uncover it. That is the time that drugs enter the one to exit it, and we are just arrested it. There is no way that they can escape without drugs. Thank you.
So thank you so very kindly, Sidiki, for joining us this evening. I think we have another call there. Good evening. Your name is, and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling because our friend my ministry the money and then I'm putting the phone program be stealing it.
Yeah, man, Benu, you have 1 minute.
Yeah,
man.
As I was saying, we are here in the country. Look at how they treat the thing what they do in the country. You get all a lot of John Lennon out to the airport, then you can hold some for opium baby, prepare all horses down. Or are we going? They bola bene, me my mona there, they bola there. Because people they coming on, they talking, they talking, they bola, even so. They bola so, with our money, what they see with our full amount, before they said our draw, they catch a mail, and 1 million, they bola, the paper so they bola with. And the resources are in our water, that the people sitting down there for. They're taking good things from one of our water, we get gold there, we get diamond there, we get all the things there, water, all inside our water. That one many people go put their property in there to how our water, our country must be victim. And money in our now resources are in our water, it can do good development in for Liberia. But they papi, we just sitting there, we're talking with the women there. We are so get us accelerating and they want to say the women that are talking every day over radio will be 1,000. And people region they were coming also. Yeah, they're coming, talking all the while, talking Google thing. We'll follow them there talking. We'll get on the street. We'll go meet to the embassy. We'll go to the other embassy. We'll go to all the embassy. They will get consent. They will call the job. The person the door to try to call the person. But we just saying that we talk about the world. That's our problem. Now, women so get us because women to the they are doing. So get us. We start to the international community. Our country are going down in the world. No here, no tea. They may not get nothing to tell and say that the person get a job. You know very well. They probably know very well who get a job. But you will not call that person because he is saying the computer. He is saying in the commercial. He is saying all about tea. So you will not call the person who bring a job in the country. They will be talking, and we'll go to 2017. We'll go to
Yeah, Man Benu, thank you so very kindly. Man Benu, thank you so very much. Man Benu seems to be very, very angry this evening, and she's expressing her own discontentment there with the way in which our country and our state is being led under the stewardship of His Excellency President Joseph Iman Bokai. And it is a very particular matter that we should be able to talk about. The way in which the government is handling the drug crisis is very, very significant for us to talk about it. And Liberians on this platform this evening, Kia 95.9 and Liberia Future TV, are participating on the national discourse this evening. It is a platform, fellow Liberians, meant to bring together concurring and disconcurring voices on trending national issues ranging from the national legislature to the national judiciary, our Liberian society, and that of the executive branch of our country, fellow Liberians. So this evening we are on Kia Radio 95.9 on the national discourse, discussing several and cross-section of national issues. Do we have call there? So if you're just joining us, you can please weigh in on the lines of 0777 959 959 0881 871670. We have at least 10 minutes to go. We were discussing major issues that happened over the weekend or that are currently taking place in our country. We talked largely about we talked largely about the deliberation made over the weekend by the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, where he cautioned the Liberian people to be very apt in these times in making their decision as it relates to the selection of their presidential candidate, as well as latches being, given to the administration of the day, the rescue administration. I think we do have a call there. Good evening. Oh, that particular caller dropped the line. I think we have a WhatsApp call. So let us take this call. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from? Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Yes, good evening. So my name is Kelfala K. Kamara, joining from district number 7, Sackley, Nimba County.
Yes, Kefala, you've been listening to all of our talking points all the way there from Nimba County, Sackley, PA, Nimba County. Let's hear you. What have you got to say?
Yeah, so thank you very much. So I just tuned in and my concern has been drawn to the issue of the drugs. For me, the way in which we engage certain issues, it shows our level of sincerity and level of readiness. Because if you look at the issue of the drugs, for example, if you look at the way the LDA conducts herself, you will see almost every other time when they do publication, you will see maybe someone with tramadol, you will see maybe someone with maybe marijuana and other things, right? So, but the question that many Liberians keep on asking is, how far have we come with regards to the $19 million drugs? Because, mind you, that drugs was expected to have been transported on the Brussels airline. Brussels airline is a very big brand. It's a global brand. You know what signal you will be sending? Don't be surprised a few months from now, maybe if you start hearing on media outlets that maybe there's some level of huge security scrutiny when it comes to Liberians cargo, like leaving Liberia to go. So this kind of situation, we should understand the level of, let's say, global image, the negative global image that it has created for us. So when we're dealing with it as a country, we have to deal with it with all level of seriousness. But we are not seeing anything like that. How far? How many of those people have been arrested? Can the LDA clearly provide that information to the public as it relates to the current status of the $19 million drugs? We have to be serious in this country.
Yeah, so Kefala,
Yes.
I want you to zero down because we have at least 6 minutes to go. I want you to zero down in on Mr. Cummings' own deliberation on Saturday over the weekend at the 22nd anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change, where he made, several other statements regarding the current administration. Please do that for us in 30 seconds.
Yes, so Mr. Cummings is one person, I must say, he understands, he doesn't only identify the problem, but he understands how to solve the problems. All of what Mr. Cummings said this gone Saturday, these are things that he had been saying. But I don't know, to the government, maybe they don't want to take this kind of recommendation because they feel when success is being trailed based on that recommendation, it will be attributed to Mr. Cummings. But Mr. Cummings doesn't see it that way. So he has been recommending, even now, the $1.2 billion budget that we are boasting about. Mr. Cummings predicted this since 2017. So it left with the government. All of what Mr. Cummings had been saying, it left with the government to take it in good faith for the betterment of this country. But again, if they feel that the glory goes to Mr. Cummings, then it's fine. At the end of the day, this government will go down in history of not delivering on the promises.
Okay, thank you so very kindly, Kefala, all the way there in Saniquale, Nimba County. Thank you for joining us. Yes, fellow Liberians, I mean, that's it. Liberians are making their own perspective being heard this evening on Kia Radio 95.9 and L.I.B Future TV. This evening on the National Discourse, a platform meant to embrace the perspective of several other participants, predominantly Liberians, that are very, very much interested and, considering getting involved into, making their voices being heard on national platform. My name is Isaac S. George. We have at least 4 minutes to leave this studio this evening and to be back tomorrow to discuss other trending national issues that border on the progress of our country. So this evening we were having conversation, or perhaps having conversation, on Mr. Cummings' address to the Liberian people and seditions at the 22nd anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change. And we discussed largely the drug saga in our country. We believe that it is a national problem where each and every Liberian should get involved as it relates to tackling and mitigating this issue. And we talked largely about also the 19.1 million drug saga, wherein we do believe that the government, in its wisdom, should be able to provide information to the Liberian public as it relates to the status of the investigation. And we commended the Honorable Senator of Bomi County, Honorable Edwin Melvin Snow, for ensuring that his communications sent to plenary be adhered to. And we believe that Thursday, when the Honorable Senate of the Republic of Liberia shall converge, the LDEA, or the joint security that is clothed with the authority to ensure that they investigate these matters, will go to plenary to be able to answer questions pertinent to the status of their investigation. And we also see an act of condemnation, or an act warrant extreme, discontentment to be expressed, where LDEA personnel, stripped naked a Liberian who alleged to have had, with her other substances that were, being particularly described as drugs and other harmful narcotics. So, fellow Liberians, this evening we have at least 2 minutes to go. And Tuzon sat at controls. He controlled the sound, and our Liberian people joined in this evening and they participated on the platform. We have at least 2 minutes to 9. My name is Isaac S. George. Join me tomorrow. Let us have another fascinating conversation as it relates to the status of our state. Thank you so very much. We see you tomorrow.
me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
L.I.B Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.